Hello, YouTube. Come on. All right. YouTube finally decided to go, oh, yeah, I guess you're streaming. Grab this. So in the process of the electrician doing his work, he's like, I'm going to vacuum up for you since I made a bit of a mess. I was like, cool. So he plugged into apparently the same outlet where I have all my computer stuff plugged in. So it caused the circuit to break. So then all my computers shut off. Just must let my computer just suddenly shut down. That was fun. Anyway. All right. Let me. Link here and the link over here. Okay. Our streaming finally. Let me pull up. Oh yeah, all my other stuff crashed too. See. Okay, whatever. Open this. Just getting that ready for the end. Not right now. This. Here. And here. And then this. And pull up GOG. All right. That's where all my Black Mirror games are on GOG. Fortunately, I made sure I got it all installed last night. It wouldn't take too long. It's only like 3.5 or something gigs, but still. Okay, and I'm going to also need to make sure we are pointing to. Oh, is it window? Yeah, it does the shift thing. Still does the shifting like it used to. Okay. No. Why? What on earth? It shifted like my browser over a bunch. What the hell? Not just like. It's weird. Okay. I mean, it's gonna do that every time. It's gonna do that every damn time. Wow. That's incredibly annoying. All right, hang on. What just happened? Oh my gosh. Let me not punch some people while I try to figure this out. It does the same. Black Mirror 3, third game. They still haven't figured out the graphics thing, huh? Great. No, that's fine. That's wonderful. It's no problem at all. It's totally great and stuff. How's this do? Does this shift it correctly? No, of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. Why is it even... Okay? I'll figure it out someday. Why is this also super tiny suddenly? I don't need that much. Honestly, I'm trying to figure out what exactly happened graphically. My stuff got all bugged out. I don't even know what it's doing. It's doing something dumb. I just don't know what that dumb thing is. Okay. It's game dough, I swear. I don't know what they were doing with graphics back then, but it's awful. It's not play well with anything. I mean, okay, it still does the weird shifted my whole browser over, but I guess it's a thing. Okay, so now I just need to find one more time, apparently. This. That. So I think, see if that does it or not. Yeah, now I just need to resize. Of course I need to resize. Why wouldn't I? Let me see if I can do screen resolution. Okay. Save. Okay, I will restart, I guess. Gosh. Just trying to set this up is annoying. It's really, really effing annoying. Because it's shifted small and in the wrong position. I forgot how much of a pain in the ass these things are. Honestly, like, why? Why? Just why? I don't get it. I don't get it. Why? Dog is over in this window now for some stupid reason. Almost. It's almost correct. I just need to fix. Hang on, hang on. So stupid. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that needs to go 8 down. And I still need to figure that part out. One 80. How about 81? So stupid. What at 81? Ridiculous. Whatever. I guess. And I still need to do the horizontal adjustment. Pull that back down. Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. What? What did? I'm not over there. Ugh. I think I'm in the wrong damn. That far, really? Let's do that. Let's see. It's still probably still wrong. But we'll see. Oh yeah, it's 369. Come on, I'm over here. Every single Black Mirror game has been a pain in my butt like this. I like the game, the graphics, adjustments I have to do for the game, pain in the butt. Pain in the butt. Just saying. Which that is either. Another 92. Okay, thought you told me what it was, and now you're changing your mind and stuff. Stupid. Stop. 20 minutes just to adjust the graphic settings. And it's still off. It's off because it's like a proportion. I can't. How close is that? Little bit back. Little bit back. Back. I think we're good on that. Select. Everything else is all messed up, but okay. Let's... This cannot be over in this window. It should be. Background. It's quite as busy for you guys. But a lot of stuff open, so that's that. And then this. That. Okay. Now? Hey, I can see stuff. Ah. Okay. Finally. Sort of. Welcome to Black Mirror 3. At least I got it all adjusted again. So there's that. Okay. Okay, trying to remember when we last left off. Darren was the name of the guy. So basically we I don't remember his name in the first one. Thomas or something? I don't remember if that's his name though. Anyway, I remember like the uncle was Robert and stuff. Anyway, but so the protagonist in the first game, hey Silhouette, welcome. I finally graphically got everything figured out. Took me 12,000 adjustments, but I finally figured it out. Okay, so the protagonist in the first game had been part of a family curse. He inherited the family curse. Spoiler alert if you've not seen the first game. This is your only warning. Go over and watch that before, or play that, either one, before you play the second game, and then come back to the third game, because I'm going to be spoiling some stuff if you've not played the other two. Or watch them. Okay. So in the first game, the protagonist, and I think, like I said, I think his name was Thomas, but I'm not totally sure. Anyway, protagonist in the first game comes home after being away for a while and learns that he's part of a family curse. Turns out he's been actually affected adversely by the hauntings, the curse, whatever, on the grounds that the family owned, the property of it. So he's been basically ritually sacrificing people, both at the castle, but also in the town and surrounding area, like the woods, the forest and stuff. He's been doing these ritual sacrifices as part of some dark part of the curse. I don't know that it's actually going to release a demon or something, but it's kind of this lingering curse thing where he does these sacrifices. Anyway, so it turns out he ended up killing his family, a bunch of his family, plus people in the surrounding area. Second game, you come in and you find out you're a totally different person, totally different character, and you're like, wait, how does this connect at first? But you learn. You play a guy named Darren, who apparently, that original protagonist, Thomas, I'll call him Thomas, even if that's not his actual name. Thomas had a wife that he ended up killing, but he also had sexual relations. He was unfaithful to his wife. Now, I don't know if that's the curse part of him, like where he's this alternate personality that was murderous and so also was adulterous. I don't know, but he had cheated on his wife with at least one of the maids, and that maid got pregnant, and then when she survived the tragedy at the end of the first game, all the events that happened at the end of the first game, when she survived, or not that, when she survived the fire. So Thomas had killed his wife in a fire. So when this maidservant went to try to save Thomas, or to save the wife, was not able to, but she survived the fire, but was burned and stuff anyway. So they ended up, the butler, Bates, had shipped her off to America away from everything. Said, you know, we're sorry for what happened, and also because your son carries the blood, we need to keep him away from this castle because that's what drove Thomas to do his atrocities. So they sent her over to New England, to the New Jersey area. And so she lived there, raised her son Darren, who had no idea any of this stuff was going on. Then in the second game, Darren got tied up in a bunch of stuff with a girl named Angelina, and he kind of fell in love with her while they were, or at least in deep infatuation with her, while they were there in New Jersey. She left, and after like a couple of weeks or something, Darren's mom died. So that maid who had been injured from the events of the first game, she finally died. And so Darren let Angelina know, and Angelina said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." She said, "Hey, weird stuff is happening. You told me about some of the history that you've learned about your mom and stuff. Weird stuff's been happening as I've been researching here. Come and, help me figure things out." So he goes, and he starts finding things that have gone on that make it seem like Angelina might have been killed, or at least kidnapped as part of some cult or something. So he goes through and he starts investigating clues and things different at the actual Black Mirror Castle, at the town nearby, and everything. And he eventually learns, at the very end of the game, he learns that Angelina actually is like his half-sister. I think Angelina was actually the daughter of Thomas's wife, I think. But in any case, she's like the Darren's half-sister. So it's kind of Luke and Leia, except not exactly, because I don't know if they ever actually fall in love. Luke and Leia never actually fell in love. They just kind of, they liked each other and then realized they were related and whatever. Anyway, so Darren learns that he is the half-sister of Angelina. Angelina has succumbed to the curse. She's gone psycho and started trying to do ritual sacrifices and stuff. Darren's been trying to fight it, and so far he has fought it off, so far, and he ends up stopping Angelina, which results in Angelina's death. But he ends up stopping her. So, and then finally, and I don't remember if her actual name might have been something different than Angelina, actually. Angelina was the name he knew her as before he found out what she was to him and stuff. Anyway, so he finishes her off so she can't do her stuff. Now my understanding is, I've not played this before, so I don't know, but my understanding is this is a continuation from that point. I don't know if it's right after or a few weeks after, but it is Darren again. And rather than being like, oh, the protagonist died, or the protagonist, finished his stuff and now it's years later or something, instead, we're picking up right after the second one left off with the story where Darren is still trying to find out about what all of his stuff is in his background and everything like that. So that's where we are. That was kind of a long explanation, but I was going through two full games trying to summarize. So anyway, okay, so I've not played this before. If it's the same mechanics as the last game with point and click, you either click and then click, or you click and drag items in inventory to combine them. You can click something from the inventory and use it on the environment, just like a lot of point and clicks. So we'll see how this goes. I'm interested to see where this story goes, because we had the other two, and after the last one, it's like, okay. But then they did this third one. I'm like, okay, so I wonder where they're going with this. I mean, I know that from the summary, like, he's trying to learn more about his past and stuff that deals with him and his family. That's about all I know. So I don't know where they're going to take it. So I'm interested to see how it goes. Let me see. I already adjusted the screen resolution. I'm not going to do that again. That's fine. I'm going to leave all this other stuff. I don't want to do graphical adjustments. Sound effects. Can we have a thing for... I think it'll just show subtitles automatically, I think. speech volume versus sound effects and cutscene volume. That's kind of weird to have those together, but okay. Let's do that. Well, let's do that at 65%. And then let's do the ambient volume, which probably is like oh, there's music volume too. Okay, let's do music volume down a bit. 45. This is overall volume. Let's turn that up. Ambient. Yeah, let's leave that. Let's see how that is like it is. If I leave it the same way, it's probably fine. Okay. Extras. Is there like DLC stuff? Oh, just picture. Oh yeah. You can get pictures like in the last game. I got a few in the last game, but I didn't really worry about it, so I don't know. But okay. Here we go. I'm gonna have to realign, reorient everything after I'm done playing for the day too.
Hey, you there. What are you doing?
Help me, I'm being chased. They're after me, they're gonna kill me. The Order, the Academy, it's collapsed. My sister and my mother are dead.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
That's just what I was going to say. That's the bloke we've been looking for. That's the Yank.
What?
Well, what a coincidence, Mr. Michaels. I'm arresting you on suspicion of the murder of Miss Amanda Valley. I'm calling for arson, too.
What? No.
Take him away, Constable.
Oh, that's right.
Inspector, I think I found her.
Damn. Call in the lads. There's nothing more we can do here.
She didn't set herself.
Why not? Perhaps she was cold and set herself on fire? For God's sake, she was murdered. Am I the only one round here with half a brain? Anyway, we're not going to find any more clues. It's been raining all night. You stay here and wait for the cavalry. I'll go down to the village and ask some questions.
Bit early for a beer, isn't it, Inspector?
I'm here on official business, Tom.
It wasn't me, honest. Me brother Bobby's me witness.
Do you know Amanda Valley?
Yes, unfortunately. I still owe her money.
Well, hold on to it. I'll buy her a wreath.
Heck, why? Is she dead?
You could say that. Burned. Probably last night between 6 p.m. and midnight. Where were you at that time?
Hey, Inspector, you know I wouldn't kill anyone. Especially not over a few quid. I was out with Bobby at a theme park, Alton Towers. Got home pretty late and went straight to bed.
So, do you know if Miss Valley had any enemies?
Apart from the Gordons?
The Gordons.
Her brother was caught up by that Samuel chap. I guess that was before your time.
Samuel,
Since
not
then,
Thomas.
she's absolutely hated that family. Have you seen her flat? It's bloody mad, I tell you.
Any other tips?
Have you seen that Yank that's been sneaking around here recently? I'd check him out if I were you. He's the one with the blood in his hands. He was chatting with Amanda Valley in front of the pub a few days ago. He asked me about a tackle for robbing houses. No idea why he came to me, but it sounded pretty suspicious.
Holy, she really hadn't gotten over it. What have we got here? Interesting. Aha, Darren Michaels, Bedford, Maine, last week. I'll bet anyone 10 quid that's the Yank Tom was talking about.
Inspector! Inspector, the castle's on fire!
Oh, great. As if a burnt corpse wasn't enough. Come on.
Just listen to what I've got to say first. You can't just...
Come on, get in the car.
Caught with a flaming torch next to a burning castle. If this isn't my ticket out of this dump, then God only knows.
Chapter 1. Well, the voice acting did not really get any better, so that's good to know. It's average at best. Some of the accents are very forced, it sounds like to me.
So, you fell in love with this woman?
Angelina.
Fell in love with Angelina without knowing she was your sister. She lured you to England, to Black Mirror Castle, the castle of your ancestors, to use you as a key for an old ritual. That's right, isn't it? Do me a favor and put the lighter down, all right? You said it had something to do with a curse, Adrian.
You tell me. All I know is that I drizzled blood on a book and read out incomprehensible words. And then bang, black all around me. And the next thing I can remember, there were sounds in the woods behind me getting nearer. All in all, a grade A nightmare. The ritual probably worked, and now I'm possessed by a centuries-old evil soul that wants to bend my mortal body to its purpose.
You believe you're carrying a second soul. Oh, Adrian, I know that feeling well. But believe me, no one is cursed. Children always believe they're to blame for grown-up suffering. These feelings of guilt have branded themselves into your soul. So, how was it for you to meet your biological mother after all these years? You said you didn't have much time to talk to her?
No, she was taken hostage by Angelina. They both died shortly afterwards. They fell into the abyss in the ritual chamber.
In the ritual chamber. Exactly. And your foster mother in America. Did you have a chance to talk to her about it?
No, she was in a coma, and then she died.
All right, then. Perhaps we should forget about the women in your family for the time being and turn to more happy matters. Let's talk about your father. Wait a minute, Constable. We are not finished yet.
Perhaps we can leave that till tomorrow.
As you wish.
I don't mean to interrupt, but the inspector has something important he needs to talk with Mr. Michaels about. And you know what the inspector's like. It's about the bail.
Is it still not high enough for him? There's no one who would spend a penny on me anyway.
Don't say that.
All right, Doc. Have you got a spare 5,000 pounds?
Yes. Well, I can't do that, Adrian. I'm your doctor.
Mr. Michaels, come along now, please.
If there's anything you want to talk about, Adrian, I'm here most of the time. And Zach, tell the inspector he should keep to the arranged times. I don't burst in when he's in the middle of an interrogation.
Yes, Mum. I'll tell him.
So how's your abused little arsonist soul? Stroke better by the nice doctor? I hope you see the burning faces of the 4 poor souls you have on your conscience every single night.
Thanks for asking.
You know what? I'm starting to run out of patience with you. If I could, I'd have you deported. Your fellow countrymen should be made to endure your fairy tales. Unfortunately, I can't do that.
If you'd led a decent investigation, then you'd have found evidence for my fairy tales a good while back.
And now the little thug wants to tell me how to do my job. Constable Zach was down in the sewers for 2 days, and what did he find? Nothing. And Miss Valley's also a mysterious order. Nonsense. No one here has even heard of it.
They had an assembly chamber in the mine, and Victoria knows about it too.
Assembly chamber? Don't make me laugh. Miss Valley gave lectures on the cursed Gordon clan in there. And the old biddy hasn't spoken since the fire.
Gordon clan? Old Biddy? Stop talking about my family like that.
Your family? Yeah, well, you'd actually fit in with those loonies.
Whatever. Can I go back to my cell now?
Unfortunately, I have to throw you out of your little paradise. Someone's paid your bail.
What did you say? Who?
Doesn't seem to be a friend of yours. Wanted to stay anonymous. Well, whatever. Get your things and get out of here. But don't go too far. Otherwise, I'll have to put you on the wanted list. That would be pretty much the most stupid thing that could happen to you.
I can well believe it.
All the better. So be a good boy and go collect your things from your apartment.
This help system gives you some information about the game controls at the start of the game. If you don't wish to receive these tips, then deactivate the additional help in the options menu. I don't know if any of the controls have changed, so I won't dismiss them. Yeah, so I was misremembering. So the mother, the maid who was in New England that was taking care of Darren, was actually a foster mother because the wife did survive the fire. I had forgotten. I thought she got killed, but she did not. She was burned a lot, but she did survive the fire. I think the maid might have even gotten her out of the fire, and that's how the maid got burned, got injured. Anyway, so his mom was alive and had sent him away with the maid to America so he'd stay away from the curse. But she also had a daughter, I guess, who turned out to be Angelina. Because, yeah, that's right. Because at the end of the last time, I remember now, we were in that chamber and there was the woman with the blindfold or something, which was basically the mom. And she and Angelina both ended up going into the abyss at the end of that. That's right. And yeah, it was Amanda Valley, her younger brother. Well, her brother. I don't know if he was younger or older than her at the time it happened, but when she was a little kid and he was a little kid, her brother, I don't remember his name, but it was Valley, of course, the last name, was one of the ritual sacrifices by Samuel, who was the protagonist in the first game. And so she grew a hatred toward all of the Gordons because of what had happened to her brother. And she became part of an organization trying to stop the curse, like whichever of the Gordons was affected by the curse and was trying to do the curse, trying to fulfill the curse and bring the cursed entity or whatever they're saying. She was part of an organization, a cult, a lot of people thought, but she was part of a group trying to stop that curse fulfillment from happening. You also forgot they'd revealed the real mother. Yeah, it's been some time, so it's fair. If I would have played this directly on the heels of the other game, then I would remember. But obviously, I did not because I have a lot of stuff I'm trying to get through. Right, a lot of like with last night and stuff. Like, hey, play this game. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll add it to my list, but I got a list. I got like a lot of stuff I got to get through. A lot of stuff. So I still have some sequels that I've already planned to get through. I've got a DLC to Resident Evil Village. I've got a lot of stuff. I've got games that I've started but have not finished, like In Sound Mind, like Outlast, like Amnesia: The Bunker. So I've got several things. So it's not like I don't have stuff to play. So we'll get to it. So I'm starting this early because one, I could not get. I've not found out what the solution to that error on observation is. I might just have to, on my own, separately start the game over and play up to the point where we were and see if I avoid the error somehow. I'm not confident that's going to work, but maybe that's the solution. I don't know. I'm not going to do that yet because I'm going to see if somebody knows of a patch or something to do. And then, I've paused that until hopefully we find some resolution to get past that error so we can finish that game. So because that is paused, I was going to start Black Mirror 3 on Halloween anyway. This was one of the games that was going to be on the Halloween stream anyway. So I figured I'll just start it now. And if we take a little bit of time before we have a solution to be able to finish observation, then I'll just keep playing this until we have a solution for observation. And so we won't start this on Halloween, but we will play more of this on Halloween, kind of like we did with Amnesia Rebirth, where we played it a few weekends before we started it and we just continued it on Halloween. So, hey, Fox, welcome. Okay, so anyway, so that's kind of why we're starting this now. Also, I got a request please play Black Mirror 3, and I was like, well, we're planning on doing it anyway, so might as well, since observation is kind of in limbo right now. So, okay, yeah, just...
A photocopier. Looks really modern compared to the rest of the furniture.
Yeah, some of this voice acting, this guy, like, trying to pretend like he's got an Irish accent, except he's not, really. Or not Irish. Let me think. Yeah, like North Irish, I think. And then the guy at the counter at the pub or whatever, with his overly heavy, sort of Cockney, but sort of not Cockney accent and stuff. It's like, okay. You guys should have found probably some people that actually spoke with a dialect or something if you were going to do that. But I get it, budgets and stuff. Can't always get the best voice actors, but a lot of it feels forced.
A photocopier.
Okay, so nothing new. Clicking that again. Oh, right click is nothing. Yeah, I couldn't remember if right click was something in this game or not.
I guess those are the keys to the cells. Apart from the fact that everyone here would notice if I took them, my cell is open.
Okay, camera, no. Fan. Okay.
That's probably just decoration, considering the weather here.
I don't know why it keeps this open. Like I can do it again. Apparently I'm going to be using the photocopier at some point. Zach. Command center. Or sentry. If you're British. You don't know how to order things like you do everywhere else.
Constable Zach seems okay. Plays by the letter of the law and all that. The emergency call center. As you can see, it's manned around the clock. Can I disturb you for a minute?
No?
Constable Zach seems okay. Unfortunately, Spooner isn't letting me talk to him.
He turned around. I thought maybe I'd misclicked or something, but I see. So Spooner was the one who said, no, you cannot.
As far as I know, there's no evidence room here. Collected evidence is kept in these lockers. They're always locked. I'd prefer some coffee. The police archive. There aren't very many files, but lots of them are labeled Gordon.
So he's known, his name is Darren Michaels, that he's known it, but apparently he's actually Darren Gordon, because, or maybe not even Darren, but.
That's Chief Inspector Spooner, the man that made the last 3 weeks of my life a living hell. A real ray of sunshine. Do you have a moment, Inspector?
If you're quick.
If you're quick.
Why do you dislike me?
I'm a cop. You're a criminal.
Come on, a little bit of friendliness never hurt anyone.
Miss Valley was friendly.
It wasn't me. How many times do I have to tell you? My doctor, Winterbottom, has she been living in Willow Creek for long?
She moved here 10, 12 years ago.
Why? Because of the murders?
Ask her yourself.
What was it that brought you here?
I don't know what that's got to do with you.
I was wondering, some of these conversation choices, I'm like, he's really going to open up like that? That's weird.
What about your partner? He seems really busy.
Zach. He's not my partner, he's my constable. And yes, he's got lots to do, so don't disturb him.
And you really don't know who paid my bail?
It's paid to the court, not to me. I just got a letter from them saying I should let you go.
Like that, for example, that part of the accent. It's paid to the court, not to May. May? May? Really? May? Not me. Not me. Me, a little bit off. May. Almost like the word may. Really? Pretty sure that's not correct. I've heard Irish people talk. Irish and Scottish. I don't remember it ever sounding like May. But okay.
This here village, Willow Creek. Are there many criminals here?
Only since you turned up.
Does that mean it was quieter before? Not even a little bit of shoplifting?
Just normal village life. Punch-ups, rape, and drink driving.
So pretty much nothing happening.
What the hell? Grape was in there and it's pretty much nothing happening? How? How is that pretty much nothing happening? Gosh. Times have changed, seriously. Like, I mean, sometimes for the worse, I think, too. Like, overly sensitive and stuff. But something like that, even back then, was not considered nothing happening. What the frick? My partner, yeah. He's not my partner. Well, see, I don't see how that's got anything to do with you. Mind your own business, right? That's more Irish, not what he's doing. He's like the half Irish, half whatever. I put a spot of tea on. Do you want any? Anyway.
Have you found out anything about my ancestry?
Yep, I've got a copy of Darren Michael's birth certificate here. Born on the 27th of February 1970 in Boston, Massachusetts.
And what about Adrian Gordon?
He's still dead in the Gordon crypt. That's what it says in the death certificate signed by Dr. Heinz Herman. Cause of death, 5th degree burns.
5th degree? In other words, only his ashes are left. How convenient. That's all for now.
I'm keeping my eye on you.
Okay.
I don't have any further questions for him right now.
I don't have any further questions for him right now. Okay, so I don't know about the photocopier. We're not going to be doing that at all. Right now. Maybe later. Maybe we sneak back into the station or something, but not right now. Spacebar will show you all the available interactive locations in a scene. So several. I kind of prefer not to use that in general unless, like, I've clicked on enough things and then I do it maybe to check at the end.
Crumbling tiles. Why should the floor look any better than the rest?
Like, I check at the end to see if I've missed something. Once you've obtained all the information about items in the game, then they lose their interactivity. Well, not always. The photocopier keeps saying the same thing each time I clicked on it, so. But yeah, okay.
The road to freedom? More like the little turd's road to his big brother.
That was gross. Thank you.
The
that was
wash
gross.
basin, also known as the spare toilet. I've slept on this pillow in this damn uncomfortable bed for the last 3 weeks. It doesn't smell as bad as it did at first.
Yeah, that's called you're getting accustomed to the scent, not that the smell is improved.
A garbage dump would be more sterile than these toilets.
It's like people that live near really stinky, smelly lakes. Moses Lake in Washington State, the Great Salt Lake in Utah, the Red Sea, it's not a lake really, but the Red Sea over like in Israel, places where it's like stagnant and doesn't really flow out and stuff, really get really gross smelling. But if you live there long enough, you get used to it and don't really notice.
Would be nice if it worked.
A lot of these are just here just for description point. There's no real purpose other than that.
Only the Willow Creek police know why there's only one locker for a two-man cell. My pencil... but where's my diary?
Look at items in the inventory or use them. Click on them using the right mouse button.
One of the few things I was allowed to take with me into my cell. One of the few things I was allowed.
Okay.
The locker was open and my diary isn't inside. Damn. My reading material for the past 3 weeks. The intellectual outpourings of my frustrated predecessors.
When it says stuff like SUGGONDEEZNUTZ, right? I'm sure that's very suspenseful reading, very gripping, moving literature.
The top bunk hasn't been occupied since I've been here. There are people in the adjacent cell sometimes, though. Ah, sweet bird of freedom. I'm coming.
Okay, anything over here? This guy, Matt, I guess.
My friendly fellow inmate, Matt Newcastle. One of those kind of people that my mother always warned me about. Have you seen my diary?
Your diary? And here's me thinking it belonged to some nutter. I don't know what happened to me in the ritual chamber. What went wrong?
How did you get into my locker? Stop that. Constable!
Or worse, what if nothing went wrong? What if Mordred has been freed and has taken possession of me and is making me do his bidding? Please, somebody help me. Stop me from becoming a murderer.
Give that here, you bastard!
I don't want to be Mordred's puppet. I want this fiend to disappear, back to the hell he crawled out of.
I'll have you. I'll kill you.
Boo-hoo-hoo. I don't want to be a murderer. Boo-hoo. Don't make me crap myself. I'm so scared. Hey, what's wrong with you? Hey, Scarface! Oh, forget it, you nutter.
Yeah, no worries, Fox. It's no problem, obviously. We finished. If you've been following along, and if you're interested in seeing it, though, we did finish Harvey's story. So yeah, well, I mean that happens. Yeah, we finished Harvey's story though. So now we finished Amy's story, we finished Dr. Bose's story, and we finished Harvey's story. We have at least one more ghost. Don't know really, obviously, anything about the other ghost yet. And then Harvey and Dr. Bose both had mentioned someone named Rose. So there might be another ghost. There might be a fifth one. I don't know. Either the fourth ghost is either Rose, or we have a fifth ghost, and we don't know what this fourth ghost is. And then we still have, once we finish out, let's say it's Rose just for short. So if we finish Rose's story, we still need to find out how to potentially free our friends from the rooms they're locked in the hotel. so they can get out, and then also get ourselves out, possibly in the process calling 999, I think it is in Britain, is the 911 for America. I think it's that or 111. I think it's 999. Anyway, we'll say 999. So call 999 and have the police show up and arrest Jimmy, and then he'll eventually go into some kind of a mental asylum or something. I would guess. Anyway, I think so. We have to finish, we'll say, Rose's story. We have to free our friends, I think. We have to get out ourselves, and then probably the arrest of Jimmy and stuff will be like a cut scene or something. And that's my assuming what's going to happen. I don't actually know for sure, of course. I'm, going off of an educated guess based on what we've seen so far with completing ghost stories, people being still trapped in rooms, and probably the likely solution to Jimmy being a psycho. Because so far, everybody else who's run into Jimmy and his psychosis has basically died. So.
That moron Matt ripped up my diary. These are the only pages I could save, and most of them are empty. These are the only pages.
Okay, so that's the same. Probably not, but let me see if I combine
At the
these.
moment, there's nothing I need to write down.
So I don't know if we'll do that with something at some point to write stuff down. Then you'd think in Black Mirror 2 he automatically wrote it down. So I guess maybe that means at some point we'll use the pencil for something else, but then that means we'll stop writing notes. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so it's talk to Matt further or this. If I talk to Matt further, I don't know if there's anything else more to say, but let's see.
I don't know what's going on with me just now, but I'd rather just keep my distance from that guy. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he had a brief seeing red moment, right? And he had to kind of shake it off. I don't know how close he was, but he at least was starting to approach the point where he would have stabbed Matt in the eye with a pencil or whatever. Willing to bet if Matt there will be sorry? Yeah, he's not going to be. Well, if you mean legitimately sorry, no, he's never going to be legitimately sorry. If you mean like sorry as in he's going to pay for something later, that's very possible. That's definitely possible. So, okay. So that's it there, I guess. We got some diary pages. Not the full thing, though, unfortunately.
Can you sign here, please, just to confirm that you've read the bail conditions and that you've been instructed to register with Dr. Winterbottom every day. This here is a declaration of your state of health at the time of your provisional release.
But there's only good or very good on there.
So, you're not feeling so good then?
No.
Well, don't forget to sign it then.
He's like, so moving on, we're not going to try to change anything with
Here's
that.
your wallet. I keep the passport. And you need to sign here that you got your things back.
You promise with all this signing you haven't secretly slipped a confession in there, too?
That's not permitted.
Ah, so I'm in luck then. Just a minute, I was being a bit premature. There's 500,000 missing.
You should have checked for that before signing for it. Any subsequent complaints have to be addressed to our regional HQ in Bristol.
All right, just a joke. Is that it then?
Yes. You're free to go now, Mr. Michaels.
Amen.
Mr. Michaels?
Something else to sign?
No. I just wanted to inform you that your solicitor is assuming you're going to call him soon. Here's his card.
My solicitor.
Got
This
it.
is the guy
Catch
who
you later,
did our bail, I guess.
Free at last. Well, relatively. At least I can now prove my innocence by my own means. Now, let's see what my lawyer wants from me.
Oh, so yeah, the lawyer wouldn't have been the one to do bail. I forgot solicitor is the British term for lawyer. That's right. To call somebody up, use their business card with either the telephone or a telephone box. So where is a telephone around here? Old-fashioned shop, barrel, letterbox. Send him something in the mail. Telephone box. There we go. All right, let's look at these other things
letterbox.
first.
Nothing special. A letterbox. A barrel. It says Willow Creek Corner Shop on it. A barrel. Fresh vegetables. A very paltry selection. I prefer the frozen variety.
Okay. So we have the old-fashioned shop. We have the cafe. And a booth here.
You could sit and eat here. There's nothing to buy anymore, though.
Grab something from there. Fairground booth. That's this whole thing. And it's an eye icon, so let me do
Sorry
that.
remains of a sorry annual fair. I don't think there's anything useful here.
Au contraire, mon frère. What about this on the board? Junk.
A piece of thin board. Ah, it's a menu. They probably don't need it anymore.
Coming around here, maybe he could lift the junk now. Probably would have had to walk anyway, either way, because he was
Just
on the
a
backside.
pile of junk.
All of that just for a pile of junk. I mean, all of that. It wasn't all that much, but still. Okay, let's go to the old-fashioned shop, I guess.
What's her problem?
Well, somebody's scared. It's a Gordon. Quick, flee. Not like the family has a great reputation these days. They had a great reputation until Samuel started going psychotic. Then, not so much. It's too bad that Samuel's grandfather was not able to figure out more about the curse and help Samuel avoid it or whatever, because had all of that stuff not happened, of course, a lot of things would be different in Willow Creek with the Gordons in general.
I hope you only want to cut up veggies with that. Sir?
Everything he does, every little thing he does is now going to be like scrutinized. Why did your eyes shift to the side when you said hello, sir? Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me.
Some very nice knives.
Damn, maybe he actually did have an episode.
Some very nice knives.
Crap. So is this, in this one, we're going to be slowly but surely going psycho? We were resisting a lot in the last game, but it sounds like in this game, maybe we're actually going to go over the edge.
A shopping basket. I don't need it. I'm only having a look around.
Eggs?
Huge eggs from huge chickens. I don't know why, but I find that funny.
That's because you're insane, is why.
A random selection. There's everything from romantic novels to Zen guidebooks. That'll have gherkins in it.
So we have pickles, we have a library of some kind. What is this? Doesn't say what it is.
Instant porridge, soup in packets, and masses of powdered pudding. The infamous English cuisine at a glance.
Huh. I mean, if you know that the person has or comes from a family that is known to have psychological breaks, yeah, I mean, you'd be uncomfortable too. It is fair. It is fair. But from this side of things too, it's like, can you not treat me like I'm gonna kill everybody? Although, given how he responds now to the knives, you kinda are earning it. So,
Tea, and oh, look, tea.
those knives are my favorite part in this game.
The latest prices of apples, bread, and milk are written on this big board.
Ooh.
All the most important newspapers are there. The Final Times, The Moon, Daily Black Mirror, and the Willow Creek Telegraph.
Really? There's a Black Mirror magazine?
This open bag of coffee beans makes the shop smell real nice.
Yeah, that is one thing. I do not drink coffee myself, but I'm originally from the greater Seattle area, and so like I love the smell of coffee. Coffee smells so good to me. Okay,
Milk.
thanks.
It's the news on a news channel. I assume it's gonna be like that all day. Maybe they show documentaries about heavy trucks or aircraft carriers in between the bulletins. But I'm not interested. A cash register. Brand, Fossil.
Abaya. Or Abaya. I think Abaya probably is how you say your name. I'm not sure though.
Brandy, spirits, and various types of whiskey. Everything an aching heart could wish for. That's a Transylvanian-sized portion of garlic. We can assume the shop won't be attacked by vampires. Various smoking products. Tobacco, cigars, stuff for pipes. The inhabitants of Willow Creek seem to really enjoy smoking. A hint of France in Willow Creek.
That's. I mean, okay.
My mom always used to say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, one of my moms.
I mean, a little bit of France in Willow Creek is not exactly. I mean, yes, baguettes come from France and they are French, like pastry or not pastry, but bakery styled bread or whatever. But I mean, having them doesn't mean ooh now we're all Frenchy here. It just means you did a different style of bread. I don't like if I have rye in my bread, I don't go ooh look German bread or something. It's whatever. Get you a coffee scented candle. Smells so good, especially ones with the whole coffee beans in it. Oh, maybe. Yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't know they had coffee scented candles. That's cool. Yeah, I should do that. Definitely. Like I said, I am a big fan of coffee smell. I love coffee. Smell. Like I said, don't drink it, but still.
Candy
Sweet
for
jar?
kids. Although I haven't seen a single one so far. Walking maps of the area. Indispensable for a suspected murderer out on bail, like myself. The shopkeeper's looking at me like I'm a thief, or worse. That must be the shopkeeper with a whistle hung around her neck. She looks a bit nervous. I wonder if that's because of me.
Would that be a grape whistle? Is that what that is? Since it's apparently nothing in this town.
Hello.
What do you want?
This is a shop, isn't it? Then maybe I want to buy something?
Okay.
She acts like it's a weird idea. I get it. He's a Gordon. I get it. But still, come on. Let's be a little calm.
I'm Darren, by the way.
I know exactly who you are.
Oh, really? Who am I then?
You're the arsonist who was in the newspaper.
I'm not gonna set your shop on fire. Anyway, I'm innocent.
Oh, I'm sure you are. But please, don't stay too long. Otherwise, I will have to call the police.
Yeah, right.
And without a telephone, I'll just use my whistle.
She doesn't have a telephone? Okay, this isn't like 1800s. They had landlines. Okay, anyway. Maybe it's an expense she decided to do without or something. I don't know.
What is this? Willow Creek's main shopping drag?
Oh, we've got everything that people need here. Usually, you can order too, but then it'll be delivered next week, if that's okay with you.
That won't be necessary. I'm just having a look around. The old woman who just ran out. Could it be that she's a little crazy?
Dorothy? Oh no, she's just as crazy as you are. I mean, she's fine. The whistle was her idea.
She's as crazy as me, or I moving on to something else that doesn't trigger you. Of course, you haven't seen any kids in this town. Samuel got them first. Oh, that's not okay. It's true, though. Yeah.
Are you scared of me?
Of course not. I've got my whistle. As soon as anyone comes too close, I blow it. And it's so loud, even the gravedigger in Wormhill can hear it.
Clever, Abaya.
How do you know my name?
You've got that little badge on?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, your name's quite uncommon, Abaya. Where does it come from?
It's Indian. Don't you like it?
Oh, I do. It sounds very pretty. Does it mean anything?
The fearless one.
I'm not gonna say that you're having problems living up to your name. I'm just gonna say that maybe more calm would better reflect your name. Maybe.
I'd like to buy one of these walking mats.
Please, take it. You don't need to come to the till. It's on the house.
Oh, thank you very much. See ya.
I hope not.
She's like, please leave. Please go. I hate you so much. I really hate you.
Yeah, that's how I like vegetables. Microwave ready on top of a steak.
She's like, please just go. I really am so nervous right now.
Wow, a huge fridge. It's the Eco Freezer 100. At least that's what's written on it.
Yeah, right here, Eco Freezer 100. Good call.
Mmm, ice cream. My favorite flavors. And a good size, too.
To be fair, it's kind of, not exactly maybe, but it's kind of common in small towns if somebody gets arrested, depending on the small town too, because they have different cultures, different small towns and stuff. But a lot of times in a small town, if somebody gets arrested or something for a crime, even if it's not been proven they did the crime, everybody assumes they did the crime, right? So like if somebody was supposedly like arrested because they were suspected of being a car thief, everybody in the town would assume, you're not touching my car, bro. You're not touching my car. Which is fair to protect your stuff in case they are a car thief, but you don't assume they are. You might be cautious, but don't assume they are. There's a big difference, right? Being safe, leaving your car locked and not being stupid and leaving it unlocked versus suddenly giving dirty looks and stuff. It's like, bruh, you don't know anything about this person. You don't know they did anything. Why are you just assuming? Just take it, yeah. I mean, now I can't. She said I could. So, yeah, she's a little more nervous than I would have liked. I'm meaning, like, you know, I would prefer that Darren not be under so much suspicion by everybody. But, you know, like I said, common thing. Part of my growing up time, I was in small towns as well as big cities. So I kind of have a mixed bag of both of those. So I can see from both perspectives, right? I tend to have the attitude more of the big city, which is mind your own business and watch yourself, but respect people and just don't make assumptions. But I also come like a lot of the small town stuff. Like, other than that, like suspecting somebody or whatever, the general friendliness that a lot of them tend to have, because everybody knows everybody, and even if you don't get along necessarily, as long as you're not actually like upset with each other where you're aggressive or something, you generally are you know, cordial or you know, pleasant toward each other, at least generally. All right, I don't know if I can really go anywhere else right now. Kind of like in previous Black Mirror games where you don't have the ability to jump to somewhere unless you've already unlocked that area. Like, oh, this clue means I need to go to this place. Now you can go to that place, right? Kind of a thing. I would imagine we're not ever going to go back to Wales. Because in the last game, when we went to that extended family castle or whatever, or manor over in Wales, it was pretty much falling apart, right? It was falling apart and or half reclaimed by nature. So that's pretty much not going to be a thing, I don't think, now. We were there last time only because there were a couple of small threads of the overall mystery that tied there because of things from Samuel in the past and things that happened that way. We already know that stuff, and Angelina, or whatever her actual name was, did not actually tie, Amanda, I think, did not actually tie into that stuff over in Wales. So we're probably not going to do that again. Everyone knows your business. Yeah, exactly. And so as long as you're not like shady or a danger to people or stuff, generally people are gonna at least be, you know, slightly positively disposed to you. Now, if you're a shady person, everybody knows you're shady, then it's kind of like, yeah, no, I mean, he's all right, I guess, but I don't trust him or something. But that's a different matter, right? As long as you're not doing anything criminal or that threatens other people, they're generally fine with you doing whatever, right? I mean, there are some things, like if you had some weird sexual fetish they knew about or something, they'd probably judge you on that or something. But I'm just saying, you know, I'm not trying to get into like getting all sexual. I'm just saying, like, as an example. Anyway, our hero won't starve now that he can take anything for free at shop as long as he won't touch those knives. The knives, I love the knives. Those are some great knives, dude. The voice change with that was great. That was priceless. Let me see. There's nothing else in here, right? Talk to her. I could do the psychotic knife thing again, or I could leave. Yeah. And she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. So we've already done the knives a few times. So let's just leave. Okay. So that's this shop. So Baya's shop is done. Does it still say it was, an old-fashioned shop? So let's go to the cafe now. We'll work our way around. We'll eventually get over here. Oh, these are the
cafe's
two.
Still closed.
Oh, okay. So it's closed. Okay. These are the Gordon women, aren't they? This is would have been Samuel's grandmother, and then this is his great aunt, I think, right? Or great aunt, however you say that. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this is his grandma. This is his great aunt. So that would be Darren's great grandmother and his great great aunt. Because Darren is Samuel's son. So, nothing else over here other than I already looked at these. Yeah, these just refresh the description. Oh, river. What is it about that?
That must be the Glance River. The water is cloudy and dark. I wonder what kind of fish can survive in there, and who catches and eats them. That must be the Glance River. The water is
Okay. So just those two cycling through. Okay. Obviously, we want to call on the phone. Direction of the pub. I don't want to leave the screen per se. I just figured while we're here, let's explore the other things before we move on. This is hilarious. Abaya's shop is literally adjacent to the police station. I mean, it's fair with a knife. You know, when he grabbed the knife, that's fair to get a little nervous. That is fair. But everything else, like looking around the shop, she's like, don't come any closer. I'll blow my whistle. Like, you're right by the police shop. You really think I'm going to do something right next to the police station? Or police shop, whatever, police station. You never do something right next to the police station? Really? Okay. I would not be very smart if I tried that. At a minimum, you can say that. I'm not very smart.
They're so absorbed in the conversation that they don't even notice me. Perhaps it's better that way.
Oh, maybe these are not who I thought they were. I thought those were his great grandmother and his great great aunt, but I guess not. Otherwise, I'd probably have an option to talk to him, I would guess. Okay. So we'll use the card on the police box, or the phone box.
Mr. Jones from the law firm Jones & Partners.
Hello, Mr. Jones. Darren Michaels here. I was told you wanted to speak to me?
Ah, Mr. Michaels, yes. The investigations are stagnating, rather. As long as there's no evidence for the allegations brought against you, you can't be charged. So that's good. On the other hand, your fellow countrymen want to step into the ring, too. The American embassy is on our backs. That's not so good.
And what does that mean exactly?
Well, that you're going to have to sit tight in Willow Creek for quite a while. Inspector Spooner's investigation methods. You implied the last time that you weren't too happy with them?
Yes, it seems to me that Spooner isn't really bothered anymore.
Inspector Spooner just wanted to produce a guilty party and then get the case closed as soon as he could. He has to produce results so that he can get back to London. But he's rather used up all his ammo. Now he's hoping that the embassy will take the case off him so that he doesn't have to chalk it up as a failure.
So he doesn't really seem to be interested in the truth.
Well, the truth, Mr. Michaels, as is generally known, is the invention of a liar. But the fact you've got bail is a good sign. And that someone's been found to pay for it is even better. Perhaps you should have a look yourself, now that you've been released, for some clues or slip-ups in the investigation. Would be best if you could get a copy of your files.
Are you convinced that I'm innocent, Mr. Jones?
Of course, Mr. Michaels. You think I could represent you if I wasn't? Nevertheless, we should hurry up and find some solid evidence to prove it.
Give me 1 second here.
This somebody who you maintain means well has paid the bail anonymously. Can you find out who it was?
Now, no problem. But it'll take a couple of days.
How long do I have to put up with this psychotherapy?
You're gonna have to hang in there for a few more rounds at least. It's in your best interest.
The last assessment was rejected. What good can it do?
Forget about the authorities. You ever thought that you might actually need therapy?
Do you think I'm crazy?
Aren't we all? But seriously, Mr. Michaels, try and do something about your mental condition. If you end up having to face a lawsuit in the States, your family's mental history isn't going to impress the jury one bit. So stop blocking shots and come out from behind your guard, man.
Okay, that was a weird ending. Stop blocking your shots. Come out from behind your guard, man. But
You said I should have another look at my file. Is it really so easy to do that?
Well, it depends on the inspector in charge. But if you flatter him a little, he might let you have a look. Otherwise, I could request a copy and send it on to you.
That's gonna take too long. I'll try to get my hands on it myself.
yeah, I don't know.
Mr. Jones, did you find out anything about my identity? The police here don't seem to be putting any effort into it.
Yes. Concerning your identity, Mr. Michaels, it's hard to prove anything at the moment. Find documents, birth certificates, that kind of thing. But don't forget to go to your therapy sessions.
Whatever. I'll be in touch.
Keep your head up. Attack is the best form of defense.
What is this guy, inspirational quote lawyer? Not only do we defend you in court, we also prop up your your morale. Okay.
Who should I call? All the people whose numbers I knew by heart are now dead.
Damn, that's true. Angelina's dead. His foster mom, dead. What's his name that was the shopkeeper in New England that ended up, there was a scuzzy guy but ended up dying as well. He's dead, obviously. Yeah, that's true.
Who should I call?
So that's all for that.
A fortune teller's business card. Madame Fortuna. You'll see your future. And her phone number.
Goes back out. It's not much here, but, you know, while we're here. Okay.
A huge cartwheel. Thankfully, the age when people were racked up on them has long passed. A rainwater pipe. There are lots of them around. You know, just in case Willow Creek suffers a drought.
He acts like that's so odd, but you have to remember that different climates are accustomed to different amounts of rainfall and such, right? So what for somebody in like Arizona or you know, wherever, like the Gobi Desert or something, what for them rainfall might be great and not a drought. For a place like England where it rains all the time, I mean, generally speaking, you could have a period with no rain, and then you're like, we're not used to not having rain. What do? You would have something like a water barrel potentially. Who are you gonna call, Darren? Ghostbusters, of course. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else here. We've done this we already did. Oh, manhole cover. I missed that, I guess. I think. We've already done the river, just repeats. We've been we tried the cafe, it's closed. Been in the shop where Abaya is. These both repeat. This is a police station. Exit, exit. Yeah. Okay, so manhole cover, and then we'll exit, basically.
An access point to the sewer system. Brings back memories that I'd rather forget.
Oh, yeah. That's a good call. Direction of the pub. Over the bridge. This is a different area of Willow Creek than we had in the last game. So I don't know how this matches up. Like, over the bridge goes to over to where we were in the last game? Or does that go to a different area? I don't know. Let's... There was the pub in the last game. So I don't know. Wait, how does... Over here, there's the museum in the last game. The museum's not here? There's another bridge here too, though. I don't know. I don't know. We're somewhere else in Willow Creek, I guess, right? Because I don't recognize this stuff. Direction of the pub.
I'll have time to sit there when I'm old. Is that Tom's underwear hanging out to dry?
Ew, gross.
Nope. Cloths. They aren't particularly clean, but I wouldn't expect anything else from Tom's pub. You know? I'm glad I drank bottled beer last time I was there.
Oh, I understand now. So last time we entered the town from somewhere over here and came this way. So there was, I don't know, we don't see a storefront here, but there was a store, something or other here, maybe just past this bench. Then there was the pub, and then this was, because the angle was different. It was more like this type of an angle, so we could not really go around the corner here. The corner would have been like kind of coming up like this and over. Could not really go around this corner in the last game. So that's where that was. Okay, so this is the bridge that we know that crosses over. It's the other side has the museum. And this is the fishing pier where there's the one guy. Yeah,
Probably belongs to a fisherman.
Yeah. I see now how that all works out. Okay. Letter E. This episode is brought to you by Sesame Street.
The windows have colored plastic stuck on them. It's hard to make out anything.
Is this shut down? Maybe not. I don't know.
Anyone want to buy an E?
Yeah. Yeah. The whole point was so he could do his cheesy joke. I see. That's one way to approach it, I guess.
It says 3 kegs, probably of beer.
Right, and that goes up there.
It looks like it hasn't been used for a very long time. I'm about to change that.
Sponge, kind of gross sponge sounds like to me.
A dry sponge full of chalk dust. Madame Fortuna's business card. You'll see your future with a phone number on it.
Probably useful, probably show Darren breaking psychologically and going psychotic or something.
A narrow, thin board. I found it amongst the remains of the fair.
Okay. Postcards.
Murderous greetings from Willow Creek. The usual postcards and brochures.
Nothing useful there. Okay.
That's Tom's pub. I think he's still a bit angry because I left him in the swamp. And
Yeah.
stole his car.
Left him back over in Wales. I'm sure he's forgiven you for that. He doesn't remember that at all. I'm sure it's fine.
I'll only go in there again once I've got a black belt in karate. Or when the pub has a new owner.
Yeah, I don't know. Silhouette remembers this. I don't know if you remember this from the second game, Faux Fox, but we had gone. Like in the first game, there's the Black Mirror Castle where pretty much most of the stuff happens, but there was an extended family. So Samuel's aunt and uncle lived in a castle over in Wales, whereas Black Mirror Castle's in England somewhere. Anyway, so that other castle was in Wales. So in the last game, like I had said a little bit earlier, that castle in Wales has been abandoned basically, and so it's starting to sink. In the first game, there was swamp nearby, but they were managing it. They were keeping the swamp at bay, basically draining it and stuff, so that the land could still be used. In the last game, that castle in Wales had been abandoned for a couple decades, so the swamp had not been maintained, or not been drained. So the castle was slowly starting to sink into the swamp, as was kind of the back area where there's like cemetery stuff. Anyway, and we had a guy after us. We were trying to get away from him to get over to where we at the time thought we'll go save Angelina. Turned out it was different, of course. We did not end up having to save her, but we thought that's what we were going to need to do. So we were trying to get out of there because we had been captured and tied up. So in the process of escaping, we ended up luring Tom, one of our captors, to an area that was particularly damp and you like sink into it and stuff, and so he sank down a little bit, not quicksand fully where he'd like drown, but like he got stuck and he couldn't move, and we're like, see ya sucker, and then we got in his own car and drove away. So he's not our friend right now. Oh, okay. Well, either way, whether that's true or something else, because I thought it could potentially be you go there and she'll have some kind of, later on you'll see the such and such and the thingy-majigger, and that somehow was a clue, or just something like, you come from a dark family, beware of the temptation to go evil, or whatever kind of thing. I don't know. I thought it would be something along one of those lines. So doesn't sound like I was too far off on the first one, which is what you're saying. It sounds like it's supposed to do. Okay, so over the bridge and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. Yeah, here's the museum. Yep. See, I once I realized, I was like, okay, that's just oriented like different angle. We used to over here, I don't know if we can get there or not, well, the road to the woods, but over here, this black area kind of the screen or whatever, just a little bit past here, is the church and also a shop that once upon a time was run or maintained or whatever, or no, it was a library, not a shop, a library that was kind of run or maintained by Amanda Valley, which was, of course, she died. You saw at the beginning of this game, in the cutscene, there was the burned body, was a burned corpse. We learned at the end of Black Mirror 2, we learned that burned body, we originally, when we came to it, we thought that they had killed Angelina. Turns out, no. Turns out Angelina, or whatever her actual name was, again, I don't remember what her actual name was. It turns out Angelina had killed Amanda Valley and burned her body. The poor Valley family, dude, that whole family either no longer exists or is childless. Because her brother was killed by Samuel in the first game, and Amanda was killed in the last game. Like, what the frick? That family is nearly as cursed as the Gordon family was. Honestly. Like, dude. I mean, you know, obviously it's just a game character and stuff, but she seemed like a really nice girl in the last one, too. So that's really unfortunate that she got killed that way. But, I mean, you know, when you're dealing with people who are going crazy because of a family curse, What are you gonna do, right?
Up there is Dr. Joyce Winterbottom's practice. It's very cozy.
So this is where he goes for his psychotherapy. Interesting. That would probably explain why in the last game when we were at the museum, we could go in and out of the museum, but we were never able to enter this door. It was always, it either was not active, so there was no interaction allowed, or it was locked, one of the two. So we could never get in there in the last game. That makes sense why we could not, because why would we need a psychologist in the last game? We didn't know we were going crazy until the end of the game, and then this game as well, so. And that, by the way, our going crazy, really, I mean, we had very tiny glimmers of it when we got to England, but really it only started happening once we got on the estate of Black Mirror Castle. At that point, then we started having trouble, and that's part of the curse, is that while you're there, you're going to be slowly influenced and eventually possessed or whatever actually happens. We still don't know fully what happens. We know what the curse claims happens. We still don't know fully what actually happens. If Samuel actually got possessed, or just had a psychological issue like DID or something, or multiple personality disorder or something, where he broke and his alter ego took over or something. We don't know, right? Because things like that, multiple personality disorder, can be, they're not, I don't think they're always necessarily right, but things like that can be genetically, like a genetic disposition, like you can be genetically predisposed toward having that particular mental illness. So I think there's a good chance that's actually what's happening with the Gordon family, that it's not actual possession, but it could still be, because these are horror games, horror point and clicks, but they are horror games. So it could still be that it's actually supposed to be a dark spirit that takes over you, and not just your own mental struggles your mental stability breaking down as you give into your alter persona or something. I don't know. Okay, let's go and look at this.
The sad remains of a bicycle.
Yeah. Worth it. Worth having it be something you can click on, I guess.
Willow Creek's Museum of Local History. A valuable hoard of English cultural history. The sign says Willow Creek Museum. Murray hopes to attract tourists that way. Hello, Doctor? Can I ask you a quick question?
Of course. Come on up.
Let's see what we can see here.
Dr. Winterbottom writes down a patient's dreams in the green books, but I haven't seen anyone else but me here yet. Strange.
She probably has somewhere she stores them when she's done with the case or whatever, I would imagine.
Today's newspaper. There are probably lots of new, unbelievable revelations about the arsonist in it. You could hardly call this straggle of flowers a bouquet. Whenever I'm here, the ashtray is full. Dr. Winterbottom smokes like a chimney. Perhaps she should be in therapy.
That's not uncommon. We've talked about this with some other games we've played where you address psychological issues, but it's not uncommon, unfortunately. Or, well, I don't know about uncommon. It's uncommon. It's kind of rare, I guess, for them to go fully overboard, like over the edge. But it's not uncommon for psychologists to seek their own psychotherapist as well, because you're dealing with all these other people's mental problems, and you have your own mind's makeup, plus you're dealing with all these problems from other people. It can really get to you, right? So you have your own psychologist to try to help you work through things with exercises and whatever. So it's not, that's not surprising.
Dr. Winterbottom's notebook. Probably very revealing. At some point, she'll be able to write her memoirs with it. Dr. Winterbottom's lighter. Quite an expensive one. I guess it was a present.
Okay.
The famous psychiatrist's couch. Until now, I always thought it was a joke. But it's actually quite comfortable. My adoptive mother had a lamp like that. I always had fun hiding in it when I was a kid. A Native American dream catcher. It's supposed to protect you from nightmares. A Newton's cradle. The ball passes on its momentum to the next one, which passes it on to the next until it reaches the last one, which can't pass it on any further and is kicked into the air. A simple example of kinetic energy, but its only use is to work this toy.
Well, yeah. I mean, the whole point of the toy is just to demonstrate the general principle of kinetic energy. It's not actually supposed to be mechanical, something you can use with other things. That's not the point of the toy. The whole point of the toy, well, is to be a toy so it can entertain kids, but also basically more to just demonstrate the principles of kinetic energy, not actually be a tool you use to apply to something. You learn from this how it works, then you can make your own tools or buy tools that will achieve whatever you need to with kinetic energy.
I wonder if the record of our discussions will end up in there. I wonder if the record of our...
That's all. Talk to her. Nothing on the desk. Excuse me. I think that's it. Let's just repeat and talk to her and exit. Yep, okay.
Doctor?
What's troubling you, Adrian?
Do you believe me?
Darren, Adrian, we've gone through this so many times before. Of course I believe you.
Then why am I still on the hit list?
I'm a doctor, not a judge. By the way, they rejected the assessment of your not being of sound mind.
Rejected? But what about the awful nightmares?
That kind of reaction is only normal, Adrian. If somebody suddenly revealed to me that I was descended from a long line of bloodthirsty murderers, I'd have nightmares too.
I forgot that we found out his real name is not Darren. Darren was his name as he was known in America, but his birth name is actually Adrian. So he's Adrian Gordon, not Darren Michaels.
How come you ended up here in the first place?
A colleague of mine I'd known from my student days, a doctor, Heinz Hermann, once worked here in the sanatorium. He was a friend of the Gordons. Then, 12 years ago, those dreadful murders took place. Heinz was one of the victims. I came here to give his family and the others a little spiritual support, and I'm still here. That's just how life goes sometimes.
Right, so Dr. Herman was her friend. That's interesting. Yeah, Dr. Herman was the second to last murder Samuel committed in the first game, I think. Something like that. He's one of the last ones.
This Spooner reckons he's a bit of a big shot.
He's one of those people who pack their own bags and then complain when they're too heavy.
What kind of bags?
Oh, he mucked something up in London and was posted here as punishment. Something he's not dealing with too well.
What did he do? Book the wrong guy?
You know about it? Well, Mr. Spooner is a bit of a trigger-happy cowboy. As far as I know, he overstepped his authority back in London, and that led to some guilty people getting off. Or maybe the other way round. However, I'm not exactly right in the picture with all this.
Oh, great. A bad-natured investigator who can't tell the difference between guilty and innocent. I couldn't have come up against a better guy.
Yeah.
Get this. I've been released on bail.
Well, that's a good reason to celebrate.
I'm not quite so sure. The bail was paid anonymously. You know anything about that by any chance?
Anonymously? No. Who'd do something like that?
No idea. To be honest, I'd hoped you were behind it.
But she already, in the earlier, like, set of cutscenes we had where he had a meeting with her, or a session with her, she already had said specifically she could not pay the bail. When the constable got us and we were about to leave, he's like, could you pay do you have £5,000 you could use to pay my bail? And she said, well, actually I do, but I'm your therapist, so I can't. So she wouldn't pay his bail, obviously, based on that.
You like living in Willow Creek?
Yes, I like the life and the people. It's like time stood still here.
And every few years, along comes some psycho and murders half a dozen locals.
Yes, well, compared to the murder statistics in London, it's a proper holiday here.
Yeah, although here it's more of a serial murders, whereas in London there might be that sometimes, but usually they're like one-offs or maybe two-offs with gang violence or something. Some kind of, altercation, couple gangs get in a knife fight or something.
Do you see me as being an arsonist?
Judging by your nightmares, you do at least seem to have a violence-orientated imagination.
Yeah, but Stephen King has that too.
As far as I'm aware, he has never been under suspicion of an arson attack resulting in 3 dead.
Whose side are you actually on?
On your side, Adrian.
Good. I swear to you that I've only ever told you the truth.
There are as many truths as there are people, Adrian, and we still have to find yours.
That's not accurate. Truth is truth. Now, there's a difference between your perception of truth or what appears to be true for you versus what appears to be true for somebody else. There's only one actual truth. Things are actually only one way. They don't change because you're a different because somebody different is perceiving or experiencing them. Anyway, therapist in small town. Sure, she has money to spend for bail. Yeah.
I had a strange experience earlier.
So many people.
It was just like one of my nightmares, but this time I was awake. It was in the police station, just as I was wanting to pick up my stuff. I suddenly found I had awesome strength. I dragged the guy to me through the bars and rammed my pencil into his eye. Wham! Then it was all over. It was just so real. Scary.
You don't say.
Oh, great. So I'm cursed and possessed.
I was talking to a colleague about you the other day. She's how shall I put it? She understands alternative therapies.
What's that all about then? Drugs? Electric shock? Voodoo?
Hypnosis.
You're not serious.
It would at least be a possible way of finding out more.
Well, for my part, as long as you don't saw open the top of my skull. These sessions, how long are they supposed to continue for?
What do you mean?
Well, I've been coming here every day for the past 3 weeks, but I'm still having nightmares every night, and the assessment says I'm 100% fit.
We ought to try hypnosis.
And what's that supposed to do? You want to join in on my nightmares?
Let's just try it tomorrow. If we can get to your roots, then perhaps we'll understand what your dreams are trying to tell us.
Boo. That's what they want to tell us. The dreams, I mean. Well, okay then, Doc. If you think that this might help me in some way. Catch you later.
Take care.
Jeez. He does the boo at the end. Like, dude, that was kind of that was too much. That was too much. Okay, we're gonna end that here today. It's been just a little under 2 hours since I started. Even though I started a half hour late or 45 minutes late, Almost an hour late with all the adjustments. Holy crap-o. Well, so that means it's probably only been about an hour and 40 minutes. I'm still going to end it, though. I need to eat stuff still, so. Have not eaten lunch yet. Okay. And just make sure. Yep, shows up. Back. Quit. Yes. All right. We are done with Black Mirror 2 or Black Mirror 3 for today. So thank you, Siluel, Faux Fox, and Fun Act if you're on. Anybody else who might have joined, I appreciate the support as always. Okay, so in about a little over 7 hours from now, we'll be doing more Suicide of Rachel Foster. So that'll be what we'll be looking at that point. So appreciate the support as always, like I said. And hopefully I will see you guys then. You'll be able to stop in. Please, Adrian, don't scare your allies. Yeah, seriously. See ya. Peace.
Poor spider.
This freaking boy. Oh, that's so sad.